This segment of Panther Sports Talk is brought to you by CFU, the power of service.
This weekend, the Panther wrestlers were competing for a spot at the NCAA Championships as they took part in UNI's first MAC Championships. So here on Panther Sports Talk, we take a closer look at UNI's first and only Olympic champion. It's one of our top reasons why the sport of wrestling needs to remain a part of the Olympics.
Earlier this wrestling season, the UNI Athletic Department showed their appreciation to Bill Smith, a former UNI Panther wrestler, as they named the wrestling mat after him. Bill Smith was a two-time national champion, going undefeated in his weight class in 1949 and 1950. In Bill's days of competing, it was the NCAA Wrestling Championships that were the highest achievement.
But winning it as an individual was the pinnacle of wrestling. And so that was the biggest thing you could do in the sport of wrestling for as far as we were concerned. The Olympic Games were something we didn't know that much about because, since the first one they had since the war was 1948. So the last time they had Olympic Games was 1936.
Following the 12-year span without Olympics, the entire Games was trying to make a comeback. And Bill was a big part of that for the United States, as he was the only American wrestler to win a gold medal at the Helsinki Games.
But as I got excited about it, and made the team in 1952, and especially because three of my teammates had been on the Olympic team in 1948, the biggest thing I wanted to do was make that team so as I could take a boat over to Finland. Being an Iowa boy and sitting here in Iowa, you don't get on many of those big ships. Well, guess what? We didn't go on a boat. We went by airplane. We went to London and then into Finland, and I never did get on that boat.
Trips to the Olympics are much different for athletes now. Before the sponsors that now plaster the uniforms and merchandising of Olympians, there were the athletes that paved the way through hard work and a lot of personal sacrifice. While Bill was preparing for the Olympics, he was working at John Deere Tractor Works 8 hours a day and trying to save up to pay for his own way over to Finland.
It took me about 2 years to get back to the amount of money it cost me to go to the Olympic Games. Payments on car that we had, and living expenses, and of course raising one child and one on the way. It was a different thing in those days. You almost had to try to save up, which we did. I saved up, I think I saved up like $200 to make sure I had money to go over there and back, And I was pinching pennies the whole time, trying to make sure I saved enough when I got back, because I knew when I got back it'd take me 2 years to make up for it.
It's the early Olympians such as Bill that gave up so much, building the foundation for the athletes of today. And often they remain unknown, unrecognized, and underappreciated.
It became more important as the years went by. And my oldest daughter came home from school one day. She says, we were talking about the Olympic Games, and the history of it, and it was pretty exciting, and she was excited about it. And my wife looks at my oldest daughter, Jody, and said, but that's what your dad was in. And she says, no, it wasn't. No, I mean the real Olympics. She had no idea.
The only Olympic gold medalist in UNI Panther athletics history, Bill Smith, will be honored and now remembered each time the UNI wrestling program rolls out the Bill Smith wrestling mat.
A reminder for you to watch our first feature on Bill online, links found at panthersportstalk.com. Still to come, we look at postseason honors for the men's basketball team.